Hello, my friends. You just bought your first keyboard and you're wondering, how am I going to play all those songs that I've always wanted to play? I've heard them and now I've got a keyboard. It's time to play them. Is that the way to proceed? That's not the thing to do. The right thing to do is to learn the layout of the keyboard. A lot of people are lost right off the bat, taking a look at the 2 black notes, 3 black notes, 2 black notes, 3 black note repetition. You got to master that first and understand where the key of C is. Understanding where middle C is should be a good first step, and gradually walk through the naming convention of all the notes on the keyboard. I go through this in my videos on the Fearless Piano series. Now, beyond learning the names of the notes, the next step will be to learn some theory, not to play songs first. This is where a lot of young keyboardists get it wrong. A lot of people new to music start trying to play. And while many people have learned that way, it is not the ideal way, because it's like putting the cart before the horse. What you want to do first is learn all of your major chords. I cover this in the Fearless Piano playlist as well, also on this channel. Learn every single major chord. I'm telling you what I did. Not what I think will work, but what I know works. Because when you know every single key, all the notes in that key, be it C major, C minor, C sharp major, C sharp minor, you are setting yourself up for success to be able to play just about anything, as long as you understand the core theory and you are patient. So, my friends, in this video, I'm going to talk about the steps you need to take to be able to effectively play piano, keyboards, by ear especially, to play your favorite songs, even if you're using a sheet with chords. What I'm going to show you today will help you. So it's twofold. I'm going to go through the steps, and then I'm going to go into a practical application of everything that I've said, and you'll see me behind the piano going through it with you. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's talk about the steps.
Before you ever dive headfirst into playing your favorite songs, before you even touch that first chord of When the Saints Go Marching In, there's something important you need to understand about the journey of learning piano. You don't just learn to play by diving into song after song, hoping your fingers figure it out along the way. That might give you short-term satisfaction, but if you really want to play well, if you want to feel the music, improvise, interpret, and express, then you've got to build your foundation the right way. You have to train your ears, your hands, your heart, and your head. There's a method to the music. And when you approach piano by age, not by rage, when you grow into it like you'd grow into a well-fitting jacket, everything begins to click. Let me explain. It starts with the keyboard itself. Those 88 keys aren't just black and white notes, they're a universe. And that universe is organized around just 12 tones. Once you understand those 12 tones, how they form the DNA of all music, you start to see patterns, not just keys. So, instead of rushing to learn songs, we go back to the building blocks. Because if you want to play any song with confidence, freedom, and flavor, you need to master the architecture of music. That means knowing your way around 12 major scales. Not just mechanically, but musically, so well that you could play them in your sleep. So well that your fingers think in those scales. And with each scale comes a matching major chord. And not just that, 12 minor chords too. Why? Because when you strip down 90% of songs you hear, whether it's gospel, pop, soul, or even jazz, they're built from a handful of these familiar chords. Here's where the magic starts, the 1-4-5. In every major key, the first, fourth, and fifth chords, called the tonic, subdominant, and dominant, create the basic tension and release that powers most Western music. For example, in C major, that's C, F, and G. If you can recognize those chords in any key and pivot between them smoothly, you're already miles ahead. That's the foundation of gospel, blues, rock and roll, and even classical progressions. Once that becomes second nature, we start to introduce the 2, 3, and 6 chords, your minor chords. These add flavor, mood, depth. Think of them as the seasoning to your meat and potatoes. They enrich your progressions and open the door to more expressive playing. But it doesn't stop at just playing block chords. No way. Once you've got your scale and chord basics, we move into voicing, how you play those chords. Maybe you start with block chords, then progress to broken chords, then try some inversions or passing chords. That's when the magic really starts happening.
So when you get to a level of mastery that you fluidly move in between scales and chords, you can play a C major scale and an A major scale and an F minor scale and an F sharp minor scale, an F minor chord, a C sharp minor chord, an E major chord. When you're able to on demand do these things, trust me, my friends, you are now beginning to breathe and drink the music. You're beginning to live the music that you're eating and drinking. It's just like osmosis. And that's how it was for me. I couldn't believe how easy it was after my teacher had schooled me on the major scales, the minor scales, the major chords, the minor chords. I remember when he presented in front of me 3 chords to follow along to play a song. It was so easy. And having an ear for music, which many of you do, it becomes even easier because you're able to hear elements of the chords. As the song is going through the changes, you're able to sense it. You know where it's going. And those tools that you equipped yourself with, the scales, the chords, the major scales and minor scales, and as you begin to advance, you add major 7th chords, minor 7th chords, 6th chords, 11th chords, 9th chords, 13th chords, major 7, flat 5, and so on and so forth. By the time you add more and more tools to your repertoire, my friends, no song is off limits. And that's exactly where I need you to get to. I just need you to diligently practice the scales, the chords, the inversions. So please check out my playlist. It's the Fearless Piano playlist. And I'm going to put a link. If you go to tinyurl.com/fearless piano, you'll see a ton of videos that I've created to help you get through your piano journey. So I need you to subscribe to this channel because I promise you I'm going to be coming out with more and more videos to help those of you who are just like me. When I got started, I was rather clueless and I was almost doubting the process. Am I ever going to be able to play these songs? But as things unfolded, I realized that was a necessary step I had to go through. So be patient with yourself. Be patient, and you're going to get there before you even know it. Let's get into the next video that I have for you. I'm going to be sitting at the piano with my nephew and teaching him how to navigate the piano. So you need to understand he had some theoretical background, but still hadn't learned the major chords, the minor chords, the major scales, and the minor scales. And he was playing songs and from a classical genre, but still not fully aware of some of these things. So let's jump into that video right away. About the piano, the key thing about the piano, if you want to play by ear, is you got to understand the theory, right? Chordal theory and melodic theory. So first of all, you need to know the major scale of every key. So let's take the key of C, for example. The major scale is, but we also give these notes names. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, this is 8. And you got to know this on every key. And the last one is B. So you got to know all the 12 keys if you really want to play well and you want to be able to play in any situation. Once you understand all the major scales and the names of the notes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on C sharp, and so on, you then have to lock into playing the tonic, the subdominant, and the dominant chords. We just call them 1, 4, 5. So on the key of C, this is number 1. You got to play a 1, a 3 note, and a 5 on the key of C, which will be this. So this is the C major chord. Then you got to know the 1, 3, 5 on the key of F, which will be, because remember F is, so 1, 3, 5 on F is this. And then you got to know it on G. G is, so 1, 3, 5 on G is, so you know the 1, the 3, and the 5 major chords. In other words, you know C major, F major, and G major. These are the chords that are on the key of C to play almost any song in Western music on a major scale. So think about a song like When the Saints Go Marching In. You could play it with just these 3 notes. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, Lord, I want to be in that number, when the saints go marching in. So there's just 3 chords, but you can play almost anything. Now, you hear a lot of people just playing 3 chords, but it sounds really good because they're playing in different positions. They're playing this, they're playing this, they're playing this, and then they run the scales, the chords like this. That's just a major chord. But it sounds good because you need to practice. Just have to practice it. There's just no shortcut. But when you've practiced it, it can sound really good. Sometimes in Western music, instead of playing the C when you're playing a chord, you can play E instead. So it sounds like there's motion, but you're just moving the bass like. You're just moving the bass. Same chord. So you also need to learn how to move your right hand with the chords you're playing up here. That's something else you should work on, regardless the key you're on. Even running a chord like that, you gotta practice it. So I'll just say practice on and on. All the chords, whether you're running them in a broken chord way or a block chord, you just got to practice daily, like. With both hands, and then you'll find it easier to just move when you need to different chords. The second part of playing by ear is you got to know the 2, the 3, and the 6, and that's D minor. That's the 2. So on every key, if you play the 2, the 4, and the 6, that's the re chord. So this is Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. This is the re chord, or you could say the 2 minor chord on C. This is the 3 minor, and this is the 6 minor. So again, you gotta be comfortable playing. You got to be comfortable with all that, which means playing all the minor chords. So C minor, C sharp minor, D minor, E flat minor, E minor, F sharp minor, F minor, F sharp minor, G minor, G sharp minor, A minor, B flat minor, B minor, and back to C minor. So you just got to practice. practice, the better. Then you can play any song at all. Any song that you hear can be played with the 1, the 4, the 5, the 2, the 3, and the 6. And once you've mastered those, you can pretty much play any song by just moving around. Let's see, which song? Again, let's play When the Saints with a few more chords. So that's A minor, D minor, G. Oh, when the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. So the more chords you know, the more embellishments you can put in it. But that's just it. If you know the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on every key, like on the key of C sharp, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the key of D, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the key of E flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you know that on all the 12 keys, you'll be able to hear any song, pretty much any song, and play it, you know. So that's pretty much it. Once you've mastered all the keys, the next level is playing more advanced chords. So you could play a lot more embellished chords, like instead of a straight C chord, you could play something like this. So instead of playing, you could play something like, that's where you now begin substituting chords. And then you get into playing chords with your left hand and your right hand playing melodies. So like,